The Brazilians with all the flair, but inclined to make mistakes as well. Brazil wins the tip. Janet. And the Chinese will play man-to-man. Janet opens the scoring, and already she's punching the air. On the first 2 points of the ball game, she threw her hands up in the air. But she was probably very pleased to get off to such a start. Lee Dong-mei almost turning it over. Chinese were slow starters against Australia, but they ground them down. And He Guin, not that time with the first one. Hortensia graves a great pass to Janet, and there appeared to be no way through there for Hortensia. She found a way with a pass. She is an out-and-out superstar. So 4-0 Brazil. They are such quick scorers. Now we'll see the slow, methodical build-up of the Chinese. Wang Feng looking to take Janet on, and good defense from Janet, but the shot was even better from Wang Feng, and Brazil lead it by 4 points to 2. Hortensia this time all the way to the hoop, can't get the roll, but she has drawn a foul out. The foul is against Liu Guin. Now people like Hortensia and Janet are going to put plenty of pressure on the Chinese defense, because they will always take the ball at them. The crowd roars as Hortensia lines up at the free throw line and hits her first point. She is the queen of the court in Brazil, and she's made this one her own as well. So Hortensia with 2 of 2 from the line. Janet is 2 of 2 from the field. 6-2, Brazil leads it. Dong-mei out into the hands of Wang Feng. Lee Dong-mei underneath, and again the problems occur. Alessandra with the foul as they go into Sung Hai Cha. So China will take the ball from the side. The problems that Sung Hai Cha usually causes are the fact that she gets fouled on the inside, but she also hits the shot and ends up with 3-point plays. Lee Dong-mei and Sung Hai Cha falls on the ball along with Alessandra, so a fumble there by Hortensia gives China a chance to score again. Sung Hai Cha and Alessandra, and we've got a China ball, the referee says, on an infringement at the free throw. Inbounding, Liu Guin into the corner. 3-point shot goes up and in. Wang Feng hits the first 3-pointer of the ball game, and China trails by 1. Hortensia drive along the baseline, pulls up the jumper, cannot score it. China look for the quick break, but they're a very good transition defense team, the Brazilians. Plenty of noise being made in here. Liu Guin looking low to Lee Dong-mei. Wang Feng, as they match up, keeping that 1 foot on the floor. Dong-mei makes the shot, and the Chinese supporters are ecstatic as China goes to the lead by 1. Paula, she just fires that shot up when you least expect it, and Brazil lead it by 9 points to 7. So 3 minutes gone in the game, and we've had fluctuating fortunes already. Wang Feng left that one short. A chance for Janet to work in open court to Hortensia. The return pass to Janet. Did not expect it, but they do clean up at the back through Huchi. Now control it. It's going to see some controlled offense from Brazil. Backdoor cut, and it came off the hands of Lee Dong-mei, but there are 11 seconds left on the shot clock. Pola to take the ball out of bounds. Brazil with the slow build-up this time. They run Hortensia baseline, and Pola with an absolute bomb. Hits her second three-pointer straight, and kicks Brazil away to a 12-7 lead. So, that's the way the game is going to be played. You will know what to expect from Brazil. Wang Feng, we certainly know what to expect from the Chinese team. Down low they go, but the defense down low was good from Pola. Penetration comes, and Sung Hai Cha gets the shot up right from near the free throw line. That's the longest shot you'll ever see him take. Oh, terrific move on the inside from Hortensia. Grabbing the rebound is Alessandra, and the foul comes from the Chinese defense. It's against Liu Guin. So second foul against Liu Guin. Alessandra at the free throw line rewarded for a good job on the boards, but the penetration from Hortensia really put some pressure on Sung Hai Cha. Alessandra will need to contribute on the inside. Hits 1 of 2 off the free throw line. 6-point break. Will not concern the Chinese at all. They will just grind away and eat away at this lead right across the court. The defense is very tough from Brazil. They don't get to the outside shooter on this occasion though. Sung Hai Cha over the back, but defensive position was good from Alessandra. Pushing the ball up the floor, Jeanette stops and pops and gets the friendly roll. So Jeanette with 6. She is 3 of 3 from the field. Brazil 15, China 7. But Brazil have really come out shooting well. 71% to China's 38 after 5 minutes. Remember, 2 of that 71% were three-pointers. The three-point attempt from China is controlled by Brazil. They've got numbers in the open court again. Again, that move from Jeanette. She is the best open court player on this team. Jeanette's 8th point, and Brazil, with a 10-point lead, has drawn the timeout from China. Now let's see what China have got to come back with. Brazil again meet them in the man-to-man. Wang Feng fires for 3 and hits. Unusual to leave her that far outside the three-point line and not get a hand up. So cuts the lead to 7 right away. Alessandra working on the inside. Hucci couldn't hit her with the ball. They go on the outside to Pola. Pola this time working on the wing. Hucci with the shot, and it doesn't roll for her. Lee Dong-mei with the rebound. That is as much as you'll see Hucci and Alessandra come into it. Now the Chinese set something up. Lee Dong-mei high, Sung Hai Cha in the low post. Moving things on the perimeter, but a hand in the way from Jeanette. The three-point reply, and Wang Feng has the rebound. Nothing there for her as she tried to go underneath Hucci. Hortensia, little stutter step, and draws what looked like a fairly soft foul out of Liu Guin, but that is Liu Guin's 3rd personal foul. So problems for her in trying to guard Hortensia. The referee with a very soft one. No sign of taking Liu Guin out yet. Hortensia around Lee Dong-mei. The bounce pass along the baseline to Hucci. She really does fire a good pass. And Lee Dong-mei called for the foul. So the fouls mount. There's Lee Dong-mei over the back of Hucci. 4th team fouls against China. 1 against Brazil. And Hucci to shoot the 2. See, they're very confident in Huchi's shooting ability, because the three perimeter players are way back in the backcourt, only leaving Alessandra there to rebound. And that confidence is certainly justified as Huchi scores off the stripe. Surprisingly, she's not a very good field shooter. Sendong Mei. Wang Feng gets it off, but not in. Huchi's rebound. And China have an excellent chance here to build a 10+ lead. The substitution's been made. Liu Guin is out and Li Xin is in. That time they stopped Hortensia. Down the middle for Wang Feng, makes the layup. She really has a quick first step. Gets the tools, she go to the line as well. Have a look at the little crossover dribble. Went between the two big players. She knows they don't have the foot speed to go with her. And Wang Feng is the main scoring avenue so far. Now we've been playing 7 minutes and Sung Hai Cha has not gotten a shot off yet. Well, not made one. She's gotten one shot off, was a long one. So credit the defense, but we've seen this in other games where she doesn't score in the early part of the game. She finishes it with 30. Paula down the middle, makes the lay-in. And she has 8. Jeanette has 8. 2 threes and a 2 to Paula. Again, this long, slow build-up at the point. Li Xin calling for Li Dongmei to move. Working over Hortensia on the inside and draws the foul out of the Brazilian superstar. Little handoff there. Side ball to China. Just the first foul against Hortensia. But Li Xin will cause us to into Sung Hai Cha. They caught the defense napping that time. They've played excellent defense for 8 minutes, but you can't stop her all night. And they just turned their heads for a moment, and Sung Hai Cha got the pass from Li Xin. A reach round the back from Li Dongmei. That's her second foul. That's 5 against China, 3 against Brazil. So the tall, thin centre draws 2 quick fouls. Alessandra dumping on the outside. Paula, and the pass was meant for a cutting Huchi, but she wasn't aware of it. So Brazil make the turnover, their first of the ball game. China have just turned it over once. Now the question is, can they find Sung Hai Cha again? Li Xin. Nothing there for her. Jeanette again in open court. She's got a 1-on-4 right here. She's stopped by some good defense from Li Xin. Paula with the attention from Sendong Mei. Cut. Nothing there. Huchi underneath. She will jump it against Li Dongmei. So the interior players for the Brazilians doing very well at the moment. That time it's Alessandra who got a piece and a chance to win the ball back. She will jump against Li Dongmei. You'd have to favour her. Run down though by Wang Feng. So now Sendong Mei takes it to the wing. Li Xin. Wang Feng takes up a position at the point. Sendong Mei, Li Dongmei, her first points of the ball game, and China are back within 4. So just when they were down by 11, Paula again with that same shot. It looks like a lazy layup, and she often will do that. The layup wasn't good, and then she comes up with a foul. She can be very indisciplined at times. But there was no one better on the bench to replace her. She is the best 3-point shooter on the Brazilian lineup. China close the lead to 4 and a chance to close it further. Li Xin again takes 10 seconds off the clock. Oh, terrific pass from Wang Feng to find Sung Hai Cha, but the foul occurred before it. It's an outstanding pass around the back. There's Sung Hai Cha. Have a look at it. Little pass round the back from Wang Feng. Sung Hai Cha scored it, but they won't allow it. Here she is again. Over the top, doesn't count, and she'll get 2 though. She's now starting to exert some pressure on the defense. And Alessandra has 2 fouls. Sung Hai Cha, the big smile as she accepts the ball from the referee. And you will wait a long time to see her miss from the free throw line. The big Chinese centre cuts the Brazilian lead to 2. Now the Chinese flags are aloft and a little quieter from the Brazilian drums. But Hortensia has been looked after well by Li Xin and losing control of the ball into the hands of Paula. Dumping off, Huchi over the top of Sung Hai Cha was a good move. 23-19. Brazil get it going again. As China looks for Sung Hai Cha underneath, they find her again, and down it goes for an automatic 2. They kept her quiet for 9 minutes, but in the next 2 minutes she scored 6. Hortensia stops and pops and cannot hit, but she's been fouled. So the foul against Li Xin. Hortensia will get to shoot 2, and a substitution coming from the Brazilian bench. Out goes Alessandra, in comes Cincha. They will try and rotate those 3 players inside, Alessandra, Cincha and Huchi, to try and maintain pressure on the inside on Sung Hai Cha. It's made a little easier right now because they've got Lee Dong Mei on the bench. And they don't have to throw another big person out there. Hortensia, 1 of 2. She has 3 points for the game. Nothing from the field yet. 3 of 4 off the line. So an unusual start for Brazil. Hortensia has gone 11 minutes without a field basket. Li Xin to Sung Hai Cha. They work inside so well and then turn to find the big one. 1 point game. All the while China closes in on the Brazilian lead. They've got to try and get Hortensia loose of Li Xin. Inside to Janet. Turnover. Yes, they have. Li Xin pulls it up at the wing and waits to play with the full deck. But back they come through Wang Feng. She punches the air with a big 3. Wang Feng is 5 of 8 from the field for 14 points to lead all scorers. Hortensia finally makes a field basket. 26 points apiece. Now she's got that shot going. If the game opens up at all, she can really start it on a roll. Sun Ying. The patience of Li Xin. Wang Feng. Sun Ying fires one from a long way out. Hortensia got a hand on it, but it's come off Li Xin, and Brazil get the ball back and a chance to take another lead. China have tied it once. A double team on Paula down low. Straight to the hole goes Janet. She is so quick, and she really has that last step that puts her into the air. An explosive player, She's gone to double figures with 10. "15 seconds gone on the shot clock. Now the Chinese go into action. Sung Hai Cha. She has that ability to roll both ways, but she generally goes to that side of the basket. Inside they go, try and put some pressure on her. Nothing that time for Sincha. Wang Feng off the paint. Can't score it. Run down by Paula. She's got a 1-on-2. She takes Sung Hai Cha on, and the big lady makes the block. Look at the smile come up on her face. Put me down for a block, stats man. Have a look at this. And no body contact at all. But Hortensia takes them on. Doesn't get the roll, but draws the foul out of Li Xin. She will wear her down. Li Xin cannot stay with Hortensia all night. She can stop her for minutes on end, but sooner or later, Hortensia cuts loose. China have rested Wang Feng and Hortensia at the free throw line. She has scored 4 of her 6 points at the stripe. But at age 34, there would be nothing that Hortensia would love more than to take a gold medal back into the streets in Brazil. 30 points to 28. 6:30 to go in the first half. Li Xin rims it out, and a chance for Hortensia to break away in open court. They've got 3 on offense, 4 on defense, and she took on Sun Ying and scored, drawing the foul from Sun Ying. China is over the limit. Hortensia gets another field basket. Have a look at this. She has such great body control in the air. Takes the bump, scores the 2, and goes to line for the bonus. So despite taking 9 minutes to make a field basket, she hits this one. She's got 10 in the next 5 minutes. Brazil skip away again, 33-28. A certain pattern developing in this game. We've seen them skip away at the start and China reel them in. Sun Ying into Sung Hai Cha. Defense was good at the back. Defensively, Sincha did an excellent job to get a hand in there on Sung Hai Cha. Layla, and Layla takes it to the hoop and scores. So Layla does give them some offensive punch. It's a question of which Layla plays today. The one who has come to play, or the one who sometimes lays back and waits for things to happen. Sung Hai Cha again with some distance on that shot. No matter how much they go at Sung Hai Cha defensively, it's rare that she picks up more than 2 fouls in the first half. But right now, Li Xin has had the job of getting all over. Hortensia has 3. They've already used up Liu Guin with 3. And Sun Ying is being taken out at the moment. They take Li Dongmei back into the game. Li Dongmei returns with 2 fouls. So a few cracks starting to appear for China, foul-wise. Hortensia with the 1-and-1. Six-point game. Hortensia can put a gap in it here. She has 12 points to lead the Brazilian scorers. Jeanette has 10. Paula has 8. But because those 3 will have to play the entire game, this sort of game, I believe, will suit them, where the Chinese take the long, slow build-ups. using plenty of time off the clock at the point. Sung Hai Cha dishes outside the three-point line. And a big two-handed push shot goes up there from Sen Dong Mei, hits the three and narrows the gap again. Helen in there for Brazil. Hortensia with the drive. That little hitch kick she does at the end, waits for the contact. If the contact comes, she hits it anyway. And Helen, who wasn't used against USA at all, being called on to play some early minutes for Brazil, but they come back again through Li Xin with another three. Layla. Li Dongmei with a big defensive job. Layla able to run it down for Brazil. Li Dongmei will pick up her third foul. So it's the loose ball foul is generally the most dangerous one. Anytime a player makes a fumble, it is so easy to pick up a foul. So now there is a problem for the Chinese coach. He has 3 players with 3 fouls after 16 minutes. And Layla to shoot the 1-and-1. Layla to take her total to 4 and a Brazil lead to 5 points on 41-36. So the last 2 trips down the floor, China has been able to hit a 3 each time. That's not something you can depend upon, but certainly not something that's beyond their capabilities. Big block from Hortensia. Was beaten by Li Xin that time to the hoop, but came from behind and blocked the shot. Li Xin goes out. Wang Feng is back. And we've got a foul off the ball. It's not a foul, just a reset. It was Helen a little too close to the passer. Oh, unfortunate there, falling out. Hortensia, does she take her on? Of course she does. Blew straight past Liu Guin. Now Liu Guin has been sent back out there with 3 fouls. She's very conscious of those. And Hortensia takes her total to 16 points. Sung Hai Cha, there was a shot there for her, she declined it. Liu Guin, she finds Sung Hai Cha, another 2. Miss automatic. 14 points to her. Helen looking to find Janet. 43 plays 38. And Brazil with what may be a costly turnover, but they've only turned the ball over once. China have turned the ball over 3 times, both teams very miserly with the ball. But that's the way the game's being played. Each time China just walking the ball up the floor, not content to take the first time opportunity. Very conservative. Ma Tsong-Chin in the game, 14 for China. Now she has received very little court time in the tournament. She may turn out to be a surprise packet. Sung Hai Cha, that time from just inside the free throw line. 43 playing 40. Hortensia gets the 2. Ma Tsong-Chin being sent out there after sitting on the bench for a couple of games to guard Hortensia. She's got some size, but Hortensia has all the skills. Brazil over the limit, or China over the limit. Brazil still with a foul to give. Another 3-point play to Hortensia, and she has 19 points. 19 points and 2.5 minutes to go in the first half as Paula prepares to come back in. Some very valuable minutes played by Helen. Li Dongmei looking on the inside, and 3 seconds in the lane against Sung Hai Cha. Hortensia gets a rest. So the Brazilian coach feeling very comfortable. But I believe there's a fair discussion going on between coach and assistant about the value of taking out Hortensia at this stage. Jeanette, now she will take over the scoring role. Oh, lucky pass to come off, but they didn't come up with any points. Cincha was forced to throw that one into the air. Wang Feng. Mat Song Chin on the inside. And Lee Dong Mei. Now, you don't see her work close to the bucket like that all that often. Brazil will still a 4-point lead, 1:47 out from the half. Helen in low to Leila underneath Sung Hai Cha and draws a foul out of her. Sung Hai Cha shrugs the shoulders. The crowd roars at the Sydney Entertainment Centre. Have a look at it again. Did she foul or did she not? She got her arm straight up in the air, but she did appear to connect the left arm. Timeout call by China. 46 plays 42, and Sung Hai Cha has just her first foul. She's got 16 points, but she will send the player to the free throw line to shoot a pair, and a chance for Brazil to skip away by 6. So no real concerns from China. They've been in this situation so many times before. Silver medal winning team from Barcelona, and they are a very, very complete team. All very fit. No player more than 30, plenty around the 24 and 25 years of age mark. Brazil, by contrast, have Hortensia out there at age 35. Well, she's on the bench at the moment, but right now the focus of attention is Leila. She's 3 of 3 from the free throw line. 88% Brazil shooting from the stripe. China have shot 100%. 6-point lead to Brazil, and the drums pound away the whole time. Gee, they left Sung Hai Cha alone. Leila comes in and makes the catch, and she'll take her on for the jump ball. Now, Leila has a tremendous set of springs, but is it good enough to beat someone of this size? There's Leila from the opposing side. Helped cinch her out. The ball will go back to China. Leila really infringing on the jump ball that time. The Chinese supporters get behind their team. Inside they go, but trying to get it into Sung Hai Cha. They turn over. Leila straight to the basket and can't make the layup. She's done that lots and lots of times, but she is an outstanding athlete. Helen, very much the point guard, not looking for her own shot, keeps the ball in other people's hands. She turned it over, but Leila grabs it back, tries to go around Sung Hai Cha, and the big lady was probably lucky not to come up with a foul. Good move along the baseline from Cincha, and plenty of movement under the basket, but no points. Leila commits a very sloppy foul, and it puts Brazil over the limit, but there's only 40, or up to the limit, with only 47 seconds to go in the half. So 47 seconds left to go. Brazil by 6, and China with the ball. China really need to score before the break here, but Brazil will have another opportunity. Lee Dong Mei look for 3 from the corner, but no penetrating. In low to Sung Hai Cha, and the last 2 times they've tried to go to her, they've turned the ball over. So Brazil has it back for 32 seconds. It's a question of whether this team has the ability to run a 30-second offense. Maybe with Helen at the point, a more conservative guard, they can do that. She's taking plenty of time off the clock. China goes back into the 2-1-2 zone and says, shoot it if you can. The clock comes down to 15 seconds. Paula, Janet, dumping on the outside. Helen Paula for three, and she makes it. Her third three of the half. There's the halftime hooter, and Brazil go to the lead, go to the halftime break with a very handy lead, leading by 9 points, 51 points to 42. Paula finishes the half with 11 on that three. Hortensia had 19 and Jeanette had 10. For China, Sung Hai Cha with 16 and Wang Feng with 14 points. Repeating the halftime score, it's Brazil 51, China 42. Now for China, interestingly enough, the trump card number 11, Sung Hai Cha, she was kept very quiet for about 9 minutes or so too, but she finished up the half with 16. Wang Feng on 5 of 9 shooting, number 7 with back to camera, has 14 points, 5 of 9 shooting. Sung Hai Cha will have another jump. The ball did not clear the centre circle at all. In fact, the referee says the ball will go to Brazil. So they've had the first break of the second half. Hortensia, who had a good 5-minute break, and that was important too in that first half. So they go straight across and find an easy two to Alessandra. And the break from Hortensia and still have a 9-point lead was very important. She's had a rest on the bench. It's been a long week for her. She's played a lot of the games at Brazil. Cincha pulls in the rebound. Again, the Chinese a little bit slow to start. Jeanette to the hoop for another two. And really, Brazil have come out firing again in exactly the same manner in which they started the game, a 13-point lead. China just taking some time to get going. Sen Dong-mei to Lee Dong-mei underneath the Sung Hai Cha over the top of Cincha. 11 points the difference. But the job here for Brazil will be to stop China at least every second time up the floor. Layla underneath. They've found 2 great passes underneath so far, and the Brazilian flags might well they wave with a 13-point lead. Now China is a very disciplined team, and sure they can reel that in, but they'll take a long time to do it. Hard off the iron. Hortensia grabs the rebound. She'll try and create some numbers up the floor. She blew straight past Wang Feng. She's met by Li Xin. The other important factor is that Li Xin has 3 fouls, and she has to guard Hortensia. Jeanette against Wang Feng. Dumping underneath and finding Cincha. So they're outscoring China 8-2 in the first 2.5 minutes of the second half. A magnificent kick-start for Brazil. 59 playing 44, and a turnover by the Chinese. Paula going to play some 5-on-5 again. Oh, just fell into the hands of Cincha. Steps around and goes to Layla. We've got 3 seconds in the lane. That was a very poor turnover by Brazil. But Brazil is the sort of team that will always give you a chance. Just when they look like going away, they'll come up with something not so smart. Sun Ying in the game. Li Xin, and she leaves that shot short. Run down again by Hortensia. She really pushes that dribble out in front of her. The referee has found a foul. Li Xin pulling back. Have a look at Li Xin. Tried to pull in Hortensia. And Li Xin now has 4 fouls. Coach is leaving her out there for the time being. There's no attempt to bring in a substitution. Hortensia from the baseline. That is like a layup. A 10-foot jump shot. She just has the sweetest shot you could ever see. 61 plays 44, and Brazil has come out in the second half firing. They probably can't believe their start at the moment as Janet makes the layup. There'll be a timeout here to China, and Brazil leads it away. 63 plays 44, and you don't see much of a change in facial expressions from Janet, but the big smile crossed her face right there. So China to launch another attack. They've only scored 2 points in the opening 3.5 minutes of the second half. Li Xin, how important she is, been left out there with 4 fouls, but a reach-in foul goes against Layla. The difference with Brazil today is the contributions from people like Layla. Now she has 2 fouls. Wang Feng is taken out as coach Chen Dao Hong searches for players to do the job for him. New player in the ball game, Sung Wei, another one that he hasn't produced in the last couple of games. Sung Wei has sat on the bench all through, and she is immediately called for the foul in trying to rebound against Pola. So desperation stakes here for China. They've called it the other way. They called the foul on Paula after she thought it was called on Sung Wei, and she has 3 fouls now. Oh, blocked from the back. Sung Hai Cha had the shot, and Cincha came with a big block. Paula along the baseline lays it off for Cincha, and she turns it over. So she came up with a great play at one end and a very sloppy turnover at the other. Li Xin. Quick ball movement on the perimeter to Sung Hai Cha, and she's been blocked again. So the defense really working overtime on the inside. They've stopped her the last 2 times down the floor. Generally, have a look at this. It's Cincha playing behind, and Layla comes in and helps, gets 2 hands around the ball. It's the second time in the game she's been able to do that. Helen comes in again and takes out Paula, resting with 2 fouls. Helen will not take the shot. Janet, Hortensia for 3 this time. Nothing doing for Hortensia, but there's a scramble for the ball. Layla, she really goes after it, and tied up in a jump ball by Sun Ying. It's like she hit the back of her head. Well, she had Sung Hai Cha grabbing her by the back of the head, and finally had Sun Ying's knee on the back of her head. But Layla really has some springs. Up against Sun Ying, she can elevate. Can't win the ball though. Sung Hai Cha throws an elbow. So she might have the smiles, but she's got the ability to unload some defensive players too. Again, they get the hand in on her, and oh, she is really mad now. 3 times in a row they've stopped her. No smile now from Sung Hai Cha. The defense has really been all over her, caused her to turn the ball over. Hortensia cannot pay though, and Sung Hai Cha sends the offense away again on a fast break opportunity. This time it's a foul, and it goes against Helen. So China with a chance to score. They've scored 2 points in the half so far in 5 minutes of basketball. And Helen doing a very good job out there in the place of Pola. But 19 points is still the gap. And it remains the gap after that shot from Liu Guin, who's playing with 3 fouls. Liu Guin and Li Dongmei have 3 fouls as well. Finally, China scores a point. Into that zone alignment, and a reach and foul again against the Chinese. This time it goes against Sung Wei, and it'll be the 4th team foul against China for the half. No, that's just the 2nd. Hortensia looking for a way through the zone, trying to shoot over it, and saved again by Jeanette. Coach striding up and down the sideline. And get it underneath. Penetration to open up something for Jeanette. 3-point shot was there for Hortensia, but she can't make it too. Suddenly, the shooting touch has gone very cold. But how many times has Layla saved it? They've done an outstanding job underneath in getting 2nd and 3rd shot opportunities. Layla take her own shot. And a turnover against Layla as she loses it out over the end. The referee says no foul that time against Sung Hai Cha. So still an 18-point break to Brazil, and 6 minutes of the second half have been wiped off the clock. Problems right here. Sung Hai Cha finally breaks the shackles. She had 16 at the half. She has 20 now. Now the Chinese defense really gets out there. They're shifting the zone well, but come up with a foul again. That will be against Sung Wei. And that's her 2nd. So still Brazil have the ball. Foul again against the Chinese defense. And a Brazilian ball in the front court, 4th team foul. That's Liu Guin, and that is her 4th. So 2 Chinese players, Li Xin and Liu Guin, with 4. Again, Brazil can't hit it. So they've come up empty on a lot of shots in the second half. In the last couple of minutes, they started off the half so well, but the shooting hands have really deserted them. They won't for too long. They got too many good shooters out there. Sung Hai Cha making a target for the ball. And a fine layup to come there from Ma Song Chin. 14-point break. Remember, it was 19. Indication of how the Chinese just chip away at the lead. And a turnover again. They can get a couple more back. So while Brazil has slowed Chinese scoring, Brazil has not been able to score itself in the last couple of minutes. And this will give a chance for Ma Song Chin to go to the free throw line. The foul, it goes against Hortensia. It's her 2nd. Substitutions being made. And we'll check the Brazilian lineup for you. So Alessandra is back. And Paula is back. Back essentially to a starting lineup. Except that Layla is in there for Cincha. But Ma Song Chin, who just scored her first field basket in the last few games, comes in and grabs her 3rd point. Sung Hai Cha, another 2. So a 3-point play to China. And the momentum is swinging back the other way. Brazil, with that 19-point lead, weren't able to go on with it. Now they try and get something on the inside. Alessandra, who's just come off the bench, hits the 2 and draws the foul as well. And it's against Sung Hai Cha. She came across to help and just laid an arm on. Sun Ying seemed to have things covered underneath. And a 3-point play to Brazil to make them breathe a little more easily. Alessandra just has 4, but she's got the scoring going again. Now the turnover. Oh, what a thread-the-needle pass that came from Paula to find Jeanette. You wouldn't have expected to make that pass. Ma Song-chin on the perimeter. Sun Ying, they go high, and a three-point shot. Down it goes, as sweet as a nut, and it came from Liu Guin, who's out there playing with 4 fouls. So just as Brazil had skipped away to 16 again, they reduce it to 13. Now Brazil playing the slowdown game. I suggest it's the sort of game that will suit China, except that Paula, with that just slow looping layup, again takes it so easily to the hoop. Reached round the back from Paula, dislodges the ball. She is such a casual player. She does some outstanding things with the basketball. Sung Hai Cha could not handle the rocket pass. Hortensia, they got a 3-on-1 and cannot score it. The tip in from Paula. Again, she had plenty of time to grab that and stick it back. But an idea of just how casual she can be. So they made some tough baskets but missed a 3-on-1 opportunity. Hortensia really met by the defense well there. Layla, great pass to Alessandra, and she scores it. But credit Layla with the pass. It was on her hands for just a moment. Again, the Brazilian flags can wave. 17 lead. And what an injection into the game has Ma Song-chin been. We virtually haven't seen her all week, and now she's come off the bench to score 6 points for China. But the clock winds down towards the halfway mark of the second half. And Brazil with that 14 lead. Janet, who's been kept very quiet, hasn't been able to get the scoring going in the second half. But she's doing a pretty handy defensive job there. And again, it's Ma Song-chin. She moves to 8 points in a hurry. The lead is again 12. Double teaming Hortensia into the hands of Paula for 3. Not this time, but fouling over the back was Alessandra. And a couple of little arguments breaking out there in the Brazilian lineup, but that's the sort of people they are. Third foul against Alessandra. So the big Chinese contingent starts to launch themselves behind their team right now. We're going to see another one from Ma Song-chin. A layup, couldn't put it down, but saved by Sung Hai Cha. Liu Guin, another 2 threes in a row with her. No wonder the coach doesn't brought her back onto the bench with the 4 fouls. She's a very valuable commodity out there. 9-point game. Paula. Layla for 2. One of the legends of Australian sport, Dawn Fraser, who scored with gold medals in the 100 metres freestyle in 3 consecutive Olympics in 1950, 60 and 64. Very strong supporter of women's basketball in this country. And back they come and score again. Ma Song-chin. 10 points all in the second half. Only on the bench because players are in foul trouble. And now the Chinese really launching the raid. Style by Hortensia. The foul comes from Ma Song-chin, but she stopped what was almost a certain 2 points at the other end. Just the second foul for Ma Song-chin. Lay an arm out there across Hortensia. So Brazil now has 4 double-figure scorers with Layla up to 10. Hortensia to add to hers, she's got 23. This instant offense, Ma Tsong-chin taking on Hortensia. You can see her growing in confidence each time down the floor. She's become the go-to person. That time she decided to take on the Brazilian superstar. She made a tentative start. Here she is taking on Jeanette. And a bit of an acting job from Jeanette right there. Didn't seem to have her feet in place and was very fortunate to come up with a blocking foul, charging foul. Should have been called a block. So Ma Tsong-chin now has 3 personal fouls, but the foul count is 6 apiece. Nothing in that, but there is something in the scoreline of 11 points as the clock comes down to 8 minutes to play right now. Jeanette underneath and finding Layla again. She has really stepped up in this game. She's got 12 points and given them another scoring avenue where they can cut off Jeanette with her supply, and maybe Paula. Hortensia is difficult to stop, but if people like Layla chip in, Brazil becomes a very tough team to beat. Liu Xin, another who's come off the Chinese bench, another who's hardly played in the latter part of the tournament. Still the lead is 11. And a blocking foul from Sunghai Cha. It's rare to see her that far from the basket. But it sends Hortensia to the line to shoot the 1-on-1. So Sunghai Cha gets the signal that she's only got 2 fouls, no real problems there. But the reason Hortensia has taken her on is to go over the limit on the fouls. Now the bench starts to stand and cheer. No one's sitting up near the coach. The entire bench has gone down to the end of the court to get a better view. Well, we didn't see the shot, but you see the reaction from the crowd. And it's 80-67. Hortensia moves to 25. Offensive foul called against China. So the foul count continues to bulge. Just the first personal against Liu Xin. But look at that scoreline, look at the clock, and ask yourself whether this Brazilian team can hang on. Will they have the smarts to take this World Championship final out? They're in good shape, but they're the sort of team that can do anything. Paula to Layla, couldn't make the shot, but she does get possession back. You get the impression the way they're playing it, where they're not pounding up the quick first-time shot. Hortensia gets one up there, but they are using some clock up. It's 6.5 minutes. And the 3-point shot is a desperation one. Now the Chinese control the ball, and again a big 3, and it's Ma Tsong-chin. 11 points for her in a huge second half. You wonder how long China can remain in the zone. Do they have to come out and put some man-to-man pressure on? Are they game to come out and put man-to-man pressure on? Jeanette. The zone certainly hasn't suited her. Paula gets that one off the hip. It had the length and finally fixed up by Alessandra. Things really going Brazil's way. 82 plays 70 as the US team looks on and wonders what might have happened had they been in the final. They're getting ready to receive the bronze. Ma Tsong-chin again. Her 13th second half point. But it's almost as if Brazil said to Ma, you can have what you want as long as we stop the rest. And they have stopped Sunghai Cha, even though she has 22 points. 3-point shot from Paula, long with that one. And China gets set to score again. The clock is under 5 minutes. It was meant for Sung Hai Cha, but a hand in the road that came from Alessandra. So Alessandra's foul. 3 changes in the Chinese lineup. Alessandra has 4 fouls, and the mass changes. Naturally, they've left Ma Song-chin out there, but Lee Dong-mei is back in. Wang Feng have had a long rest on the bench, and Sen Dong-mei, so they've got plenty of firepower out there. Sung Hai Cha, that's the best form of firepower. And the lead is back to single figures right now, 8. Suddenly, Brazil need a basket, and need one in a hurry. Pola, Janet, inside the defense, dump off, and they turn the ball over. No, it's going to be a jump ball. But Brazil not getting a shot off that time. '82 plays 74. And it's Wang Feng to take the jump against Layla. Layla must be getting very tired. Wang Feng has been on the bench. It will be a Brazilian ball. Wang Feng infringed in the jump ball. Brazil need a basket to stem the tide on this trip down the floor. They also need to use some clock. Hortensia. In low to Layla. The shot from Janet. Well, it's so long since she's had a shot she couldn't make it. But the shot came up after just 12 seconds. They'll start to line up outside the circle. Wang Feng can hit. Lee Dong-mei to dump outside the circle. Looking for Sung Hai Cha underneath. She takes up a position on the other side. That time Layla came across to help and can make a 3-point play. And Sung Hai Cha makes the 2. That is the danger. You hit her, she hits the 2 and goes to the line for the bonus. Now Brazil is forced into the timeout because Sung Hai Cha has taken the lead back to 6, and she will go to the line to shoot a bonus free throw. Sung Hai Cha, 26 points, and makes the 3-point play. So we've got a 5-point ball game with 3:45 to go. That's the nature of this game, when just a couple of minutes ago it looked as though Brazil was cruising. Janet, Pola, underneath they go to Layla. They really needed that. Layla has done an outstanding job in the second half to move to 14 points. Lee Dong-mei. They turned the ball over, tried to make a slash cut into the hands of Janet. A super feed coming from Hortensia. So 2 quick baskets change it all round again. Brazil with a 9-point break. The clock coming down towards 3 minutes. They try and line up Sung Hai Cha. And a big defensive job, but they turn it over again. Layla did well to win the ball back, but Wang Feng hits them with a 3. Wang Feng with 17 points, Sung Hai Cha with 27. What a costly turnover. All Layla had to do was to hang on to it, but it cost them 3. The lead is back to 6. Hortensia. One that fell out. Alessandra underneath. The coach imploring them from the sideline to take some time off the clock. But this is a team that has difficulty doing that. Someone will get a rush of blood before too long. They got the clock down to 13 seconds that time. Still not enough time off it. And that will be a Brazilian ball, I think. Yes, the referees point in the direction of goal. 2 minutes and 5 seconds to go, and China turns it over. They've turned it over 8 times. 16 times. Brazil has turned it over 8. Now it's under 2 minutes. How much time can they take off the clock this time? Jeanette got it down to 10 seconds and scored. Now that is a smart play. Jeanette is starting to find her touch again. She has 20. Brazil leads by 8. A minute 35 to go. Lee Dong-Mei will have to go to the free throw line. The foul as it goes against Layla. So Layla has 4 fouls, but a minute 30 to go. So no real problem there as long as they can hang to this 8-point lead that Lee Dong-Mei cuts to 7. The last 90 seconds are likely to be fairly frantic. Both teams over the limit. And Lee Dong-Mei hits from the free throw line. Lee Dong-Mei is subbed out. And it's a 6-point game again. The slowdown game doesn't really suit Brazil. It certainly suits China. Jeanette. Again, they take 20 seconds off the clock. Taking it to the outside, and Alessandra scores. That could be the winning basket. That would probably put it beyond China. 3-point shot goes up. Nothing for it. A travel call, turning the ball over to Brazil. If the last basket didn't do it, that turnover count probably has. It's difficult to believe that a Chinese team would turn the ball over 17 times against 8 times for a Brazilian team. You've got to take your hat off to the ladies in gold. Now they're using the clock up. Play a little keepings off here. And the foul comes from Ma Song-Chin. 42 seconds left. Paula, probably their best free throw shooter at the free throw line. Hasn't been there in the game. Unusual for someone who shoots a lot of free throws. Hitting 2, 92-82. The clock is off and running again and under 40 seconds. Another basket from Ma Song-Chin takes her total to 15. But now Hortensia to carry the ball. Gets it into the front court without a foul. Try and play the keepings off game. And Ma Song-Chin reaches in and brings up the foul. Not a great deal of emotion from the Brazilians as yet. I don't think they can believe it. Hortensia with 23 seconds left, lining up at the stripe, and her team up by 8. At this time in the semi-final, there were tears rolling down her cheeks. Scoring off the free throw line. Now there's some emotion coming into it. They are 23 seconds away from the gold medal in the World Championship. The team that's come from right out of the pack. Now they believe it. 94 plays 84. They can let China score here. They can't do it. The rebound goes to Jeanette. She holds it up in the backcourt. She might hold it up for too long because might not beat the time clock. Into the front court they go to Paula, and another foul, and Paula will go to the line to shoot the 1-on-1. There's the celebrations really underway on the Brazilian bench. They've got Paula at the line, 10-point break, 4.7 seconds left. And Paula has to do this by herself because everyone else has come up with the hugs of congratulation. 11-point lead, and Paula with 17 points. They'll let China come back and score, not even bother to play defense. It's off the glass and in, and it counts, but it doesn't matter for Brazil. Look at the celebrations go on. What an outstanding achievement it's been to take out the 12th World Women's Basketball Champion. That's the team that won the gold. Yes, you're number one, all right. Brazil, an outstanding effort. Hortensia, well, if she wasn't the Queen of Brazil prior to coming to Australia, she's certainly going to go home to Rio with all the celebrations in the world.